But today, we're going to finish up with this last thing. We talked about focusing. We talked about focusing. We talked about committing yesterday to that one word. But you got to act. Ultimately, you have to act, because we can have all the commitments and positive sayings in the world. You know, all the quotes we can throw out and say, I'm going to do this year. I'm going to rock out my passions. I'm going to accomplish all these goals. But without action, nothing happens, right? Without something changing, there will be no change. And so I'm not saying eliminate focus. I'm not saying eliminate commitment. You need those. I firmly believe you do. But the last one that you have to have is act. You have to put actions behind your passions, your dreams, your goals, your one word. So you need to act. Alarm clock goes off. Again, early, 4 a.m. What are your thoughts? Are you ready to act, take action for the day? Or are you ready to say, man, I can't wait to get to that one class because I know I got that assignment or I got that test this Friday. I know I got to go across and talk to that one person or be in the same class with that person I don't like right now. We have a disagreement or things are a little awkward. We wake up and sometimes have those desires of I want to sleep in, I want to be lazy, I don't want to do the work. You wake up, you have a choice and say, I'm going to take action today, I'm going to take steps forward, or I'm going to stand right where I'm at, which is essentially taking a step backward. Every day is a new opportunity, every day is a new day. You need to take action, and it starts the moment you wake up. It doesn't start when you walk into school. You've already decided, you've already set the tone for your day when that alarm went off this morning. You already did. And while you can't go back and fix it now, I want you to think of that every time the alarm goes off. What are your focuses for that day? What are you committed to? What actions are you going to take? So the alarm goes off. Are you ready to take action? Are you ready to move forward? Are you ready to take ownership and control of the day? Michael Murphy, I don't know if any of you know who he is. You know who he is. He's a lieutenant. I figured you would. He's a lieutenant, former lieutenant Michael Murphy. His story has been made very popular by the movie and book Lone Survivor. I'm thankful I got the book Lone Survivor. It's written by Marcus Luttrell, who was one of the 4 Navy SEALs, one of the frogmen in the group to go over to Iraq and the Middle East, and their mission was to basically take out one of the Taliban leaders. They quickly found out, though, after being in this mission for a day that had been planned for months and months and months, that they were going to be in for a fight. It was 4 guys against hundreds, 300. They were outnumbered almost, I think they said 30, 40 to 1. I mean, it was incredible odds. Incredible odds. But they're Navy SEALs and they don't quit. They don't quit, they take action. Okay? Lieutenant Michael Murphy, he was the leader of this group, leader of these 4 guys. Now, I told you 4 guys went in, the movie and book is called Lone Survivor, so you can kind of get the gist of what kind of happened. I don't want to spoil everything for you. I encourage you to go look at the movie or read the book. But Lieutenant Michael Murphy, he was a leader unlike any we've ever seen. He had multiple opportunities to make sure his teammates and soldiers were taken care of. He was their command guy. He was telling them what they needed to do. He was always making sure that they were covered. He was trying to help them out in every step of the way. Even when a guy got shot in his head, made it through, was living. One of the guys got shot in the back of the head, was living through it, and kept fighting. That's what adrenaline does to you when you're in the midst of a gunfight. Okay, you can withstand some of those things for a little while before the adrenaline wears off, and you're like, that kind of hurts. But Michael Murphy had a choice. They were getting ambushed. They were multiple times they were put against a cliff because in this Iraqi mountainside, they were actually having to be pushed back because 300 to 4, they didn't really have anywhere to go but kind of retreat. Even though that's not what they'd like to do, because in battle you want to have the high ground. Well, they were losing it, and the Taliban had the high ground, so they were being pushed back. And twice they were actually pushed off a cliff. And by pushed, I mean they willingly jumped off a cliff almost 100 feet down a rocky mountainside because that was the only way for survival for them. They took action there. They had no choice. They couldn't just argue and say, man, I don't want to jump down a cliff. the mountainside. Like, I don't want to do that. No, you're going to have to do that, Michael Murphy said, otherwise you will get shot and you will get captured by the enemy. So twice they jumped down a mountainside cliff because of his leadership and them just saying, we got to take action. We can't just stand here and take more gunfire. We got to keep moving. We got to keep trying to survive and keep progressing forward. Okay? But the final story of Michael Murphy, the final moments of Michael Murphy was some of the most impactful moments that the U.S. military has ever seen. So they're getting ambushed, right? It's 4 guys. It's been heavy gunfire for a long time. I mean, multiple guys are shot. Everyone's wounded. Marcus Luttrell has like a punctured lung from the falls. Heavy stuff going on. And he sees like kind of a little opening on this cliff, but it's open. And he sees an opportunity to say, hey, maybe I can make a call. He has the sat phone to make a QRF call to the home base to try to say, hey, this is where we're at, get us out of here now, send some help. And so he had an opportunity, what he saw, to do that. So he climbs up along this embankment and goes out to an openly exposed area, totally exposed. There is no cover. I mean, his teammates, his soldiers are covering him from where they're at, but there is no cover to shield him off from anything that would be shot at him. And so he goes up onto this open covered piece of land, this rocky mountainside, and he makes the call. Gives the home base their coordinates of where they're at, gives them, hey, come help us out, as he's being shot multiple times. That is how Lieutenant Michael Murphy died. But he took action, because he knew he had to take action if his teammates and his friends were going to survive, if he had any chance of surviving. But he knew full well that was a death mission, and he still took action. And so, while I don't want you to go to essentially your death, I want you to think of, he took action in his situation. He wasn't going to let anything just happen to him. He was going to go take the action. He was going to go into the fight. He wasn't going to give up and just stand there and be lazy and say, I'll throw up my hands in the air and say whatever happens. Or I'll complain about my situation. Man, this sucks being here. It sucks that I've been shot at. I wish they would just stop. This is getting hot and heavy here. He just went and said, I'm going to help and do what I can. I'm going to make the call. I'm going to sacrifice my life and take action so that way somebody else can potentially live. Marcus Luttrell would not be able to tell us the story of a lone survivor through the book and movie if Lieutenant Michael Murphy hadn't done that. He took action. You need to take action. When you take action on your word, or in general here in 2019, it needs to be inspired action. Inspired action promotes good action and allows you to move forward. You don't just take action because I got to take action. Take it and have an inspired action. That means there's something behind everything you're doing. Inspired action, first of all, comes from your heart. It comes from right here. It comes from the passion in your soul. That just to get this done. I want to accomplish this in my life. I want to get this job. I want to have that goal reached. I want to pursue this. It comes from your heart. Inspired action comes from your heart. You got to use your mind. You got to be able to think through things. But truly inspired action comes from in here. So don't forget about what your heart is pushing for you to do, what your gut wants you to pursue, and what your gut is telling you to go after. That's going to inspire you to take more action. Second of all, your action, there's a purpose behind the actions that you take. If your goal is to do something, well then every action you take should be in correlation with that goal. If you just do something to do it and it isn't related to you getting better, isn't relating to you accomplishing your dreams, and related to this one word, then it's not purposeful. Like, it doesn't have any meaning to it then. You're just doing action that's wasted. You also need to do action that is going to be better for you, best for you. Don't overwork yourself. You got to work, but don't do more than you need to. Make sure it's purposeful. If you can get the job done by doing 3 steps instead of taking 10, hey, do the effective way that gets you more efficient makes you more efficient with your time. So make sure it's purposeful. It's going to have its ebbs and flows. When you see a boat on the ocean, in the ocean, it has that rocky motion to it. Up, down, just because of the waves and the trickle of the sea and the ocean. Sometimes they're more violent at times. Sometimes they're whipping up against the side of the boat. Sometimes they're pushing boats all over the place. Sometimes it's just a nice, gentle one. But in your life here, especially in 2019, there are going to be ebbs and flows with your words. There's going to be times where it's going good, and you're up a little bit. And then there's going to be the flows where it dives down a little bit. You're the boat, and it starts sinking just a little bit because just the wave brings it down. It's going to happen here. There's going to be action that leads to good things, and then there's going to be times this year with that one word we're going to take action, and it sinks a little bit on you. You're like, oh, I didn't think that was going to happen. You know, Michael Murphy didn't think, man, I wish, I didn't think all this was going to happen when I signed up for this mission. But go easy with the ebbs and flows of 2019. They're going to be there. They're going to go up and down, up and down. Embrace that. Know it's going to be there. But a boat doesn't just stop, right? A boat doesn't just stay where it's at. It moves with the ebbs and flows. The water moves it in certain directions, but it keeps floating. It keeps trying to pursue and stay on course to its end destination. Whatever your end destination is looking like, make sure that you work through the ebbs and flows and know that they're going to be there. No excuses with your action. Zero excuses with your action. Excuses don't allow any production to happen. If there's an excuse, if there's something that is wrong, don't complain about it, don't make excuses. Work to find a better way to eliminate the excuse. Work to find a better way to be more productive. Because ultimately, guys, there's nothing worth having in life that will come to you super, super easy. Any great place worth going in life, it's going to take work. It's going to take action. It's going to take inspired action. So there are no shortcuts to any place worth going in life. If you want, again, your dreams, your goals, your desires, your passions, any place worth going in life, there are no shortcuts to it. There are no shortcuts. There is no, I'll just win the lottery. Or I'll just hope somebody knocks on my door and says, here's your dream. Those are great stories when they do happen, but those are one in a trillion, okay? Trillion, that's a new word. Okay? But there are no shortcuts in life to a place that's worth going. You gotta work to get there. You gotta take action steps. You gotta be moving. Remember that. A counselor, a psychologist, someone who works with people in old age, decided that she was gonna ask some of the people on their deathbed, what was their biggest regrets in life? What's their biggest regrets in life were? Because obviously we're young right now. You're saying, man, I got my whole life ahead of me. I got no worries about today or tomorrow. But you ask somebody who's on their deathbed, ask them what they regret, what they wish they would have done better, wish they would have changed about their life, you'll get some real truthful and honest answers. And so she, after talking to numerous people on their deathbed, got her top 5 regrets from people on their deathbed. And they go a little bit like this. Number 1, I wish I had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me. Number 1 regret that she heard from people. I wish I would have lived the life that I wanted to pursue, with the passions I wanted to go after, not the life that others pushed me towards. Now, if you take action, you can pursue your goals, your dreams. If you don't take action, you just sit back and wait and play the poor me game. Oh, poor me, I'm not in a wealthy situation. I come from a rough background. If you play that game, well then you're going to be working for somebody who does want you to pursue their dreams and said, hey, do this for me, do that, do this, and you'll be building up somebody else's dream. Number 1, regret. I wish I had the courage to live a life that I wanted to pursue, the career I wanted to go after, the goals I wanted to reach, not what somebody else wanted for me. Number 1, regret. Don't make that you. Don't make that you. Take action towards your goals. And number 2, regret was this: I wish I had worked so hard. Now, it's not saying, man, I wish I would have just taken every day off. I wish I would have just lay back in the sun, laying on the beach, getting tan. No. But what they're saying is, man, I wish when my job, when I was done working that shift, or when I was done working my day, I wish I would just stop right there. I wish I would have got the work done that I need to get done and then moved on. I wish I would have been able to attend more family events, watched my son's games, gone to spend time with my family and friends after work. I wish I hadn't overworked myself so much just to get that paycheck, just to get that, that bonus or that recognition. I wish I would have understood that I need to work hard, but when the job is done, when the time hits, whatever it gets to, I move on. Because I'm not gonna take the paychecks, I'm not gonna take the awards, I'm not gonna take the accolades or the degrees or certifications. I'm not gonna take that with me on my deathbed. You don't get to do that. You don't get to say, hey, I'm a master in being a master's to your deathbed. You don't get to say, hey, I made my company $1 million to your deathbed. You don't get to do that. You don't get to do that. So understand that they were not saying, hey, I wish I would have been lazier. They're saying, I wish I hadn't overworked and worked so hard that I missed out on some of the other opportunities in life. Number 3, I wish I had the courage to express my feelings. Third biggest regret people on their deathbed had. I wish I had the courage to express my feelings. I wish I would have had the courage to take action and tell somebody what I felt, tell somebody how I felt, gave my opinion, not been silent and just let things happen. It takes action to do that. It takes action to do that. You just sit and let somebody else dictate what's going on, and you didn't say anything, you missed an opportunity there. Don't let that be a regret you have in your life, saying, I wish I would have said a little more. I wish I would have told that person how I felt. Emotions are good. Emotions are good. And when we act on some of them in a good way, we open up ourselves for opportunity. Don't live a life filled with, man, I wish I would have expressed my feelings a little more. I wish I would have took those actions. I wish I had stayed in touch with my friends. That takes action as well. And you will find when you get out of high school here in the next year or two, that when everyone goes their separate ways, it's harder to maintain some of those friendships and some of those connections. But you gotta work at some of that. You can't go alone in life. You can't be successful by yourself. So you find ways to stay connected with family and friends. We have a great opportunity now in our day and age to have social media with Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, with LinkedIn, all those platforms, Snapchat, huge. We have platforms to keep us connected with friends. Even if we can't talk to them on a face-to-face basis or whatever, all we need is send them a DM or send them a tweet or send them a Snapchat. We can do that and stay connected. That allows you to be uplifted when you need some of that. When you're tired of not taking action, hey, I just need some encouragement. So I'm gonna go reach out to my friend and maybe they'll be able to help me out. You gotta have friends. Stay in touch with them. Stay in touch with them. Please do. Please do. Don't push friends to the side. Don't do that. Keep in touch with them. And then 5th, I wish I'd let myself be happier. I wish I'd let myself be happier. People on their deathbed just say, man, I wish I wouldn't have been so angry all the time. I wish I wouldn't have been so lazy and just being caught up in all the wrong things. I wish I wouldn't have held all those grudges. Or I wish I wouldn't have let that one thing affect me for a whole day, because you don't get the time back, guys. You don't get the time back. Yesterday is gone. Last year is gone. You don't get to say, man, I wish I would have changed how I reacted to that. Someone told me something, or I didn't like what somebody did, and I stayed in a bad mood the rest of the day. For what? You don't get that time back. You can become happier in life when you pursue your goals, when you pursue your dreams. You're happier in life when you have a job and live and do the things that you want to do. You can only do that by taking action steps toward those. You see there'll be people this weekend and today who they didn't do anything in life, they didn't take actions, they were lazy, and when the time comes to end their day today, 4 or 5 o'clock, they'll go home, they'll grab a pizza, they'll sit on their couch, and they will be there the entire weekend, which is miserable, saying, well, poor me. And then come Monday, they'll go back to work and do it all again next week. They'll just say, man, this sucks, I hate this, but they won't do anything about it. You probably know those people, that they hate everything, they don't like what people are telling them to do, they don't like their situation, but they don't do anything about it, which boggles my mind. So if you want to live a life that's happier, take action. Take action. Last thing I'll show you here. Tim Grover, he's a trainer. He's trained Michael Jordan. He's trained Dwayne Wade, Kobe Bryant, a number of athletes. He's talked and worked with business professionals. He's worked with organizations to make them a better unit and better team, in the business world. And he has this mantra that I really like: decide, commit, act, succeed, repeat. So you obviously got to, for your one word this year, you had to decide on it. You had to commit to it. You're having to commit to it. By writing it down, you're committing to it. By signing your name, you're committing to it. Then you have to act. You have to act on that. You have to put steps in motion, in place, that keep moving you forward. Then you succeed. You find the successes, whether they're big or small, whether they're short lived or they're long lasting. You get some success, then you have to repeat. You can't just say, hey, I got some success today. I did really well in the test. I'm going to give up. I want to put my hands in the air. I'm done for today. You got to repeat. It's a constant cycle. Started today already. You woke up, you had to decide what you were going to do today. You got to commit to what you were going to do on this Friday. Finish Friday really well. Then you had to act on it. You might have some success today. Guess what? Tomorrow you wake up, it starts all over again. It starts all over again. Decide, commit, act, succeed, repeat. Over and over and over and over again. And then you'll be happier. You'll have the successes that you want to have. Tim Grover tells often about Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, obviously one of the best basketball players alive to ever play the game. Now, whether you think he's the best or not, it's up for debate. I get it. After every game, Tim Grover would go to Michael and say, hey, what time are we coming in tomorrow? What time are we working out tomorrow? 4, 5, 6, 7 a.m. What time are we coming in tomorrow? And Michael would tell him, hey, this time. Or maybe a change of the time. It wasn't always the same time, but we'll come in at 5. And so then Tim would show up at his door at 5 o'clock, and they go to the gym and they get their work in. They get better that day before practice even started, before even the other things that he had to do went on. He said even after losses, they wouldn't maybe always say, hey, what time you coming in? It would just kind of be a head nod, like tomorrow morning, yeah. Michael wanted to get better. Michael was not going to sit back while others took his crown of being the best player. Michael was going to work while others were sleeping, sometimes literally 4 o'clock in the morning. He was going to work while others were taking the time off in the summer to go vacation, to go rest up. He was going to work, and he became arguably one of the greatest basketball players to ever live. Part, yes, because he was talented, and I'll give him that, but he took action to make himself that way. He took action to make himself that way. And so he was up working when other guys were not willing to work, and when other guys were sleeping. Will Smith, pretty good actor, very famous. We all look at him as, man, that guy's funny, that guy's hilarious. He's a good actor. He can do a lot of good roles. We think he doesn't have to do anything to be what he is. His quote is this: I've never really viewed myself as particularly talented. Where I excel is ridiculous and sickening work ethic. While the other guy's sleeping, I'm working. While the other guy's eating, I'm working. That's his mentality. I'm going to take action. If you're sleeping, I'm working. If you're eating, you're spending an hour eating, I'm working. I'll eat on the run. I'll eat on the move. I'm not going to let you outwork me. Sickening. He used the word sickening work ethic. He'll work himself to dead tired, to being dead tired, to being sick almost. That's how hard he's willing to work. And we look at him, and I would look at him like, Will, seriously, cool down, man. You're really talented. You don't got to do all that. Like, you seem like you could do anything you want to do and be funny, be hilarious, be a super good actor in this role. But he doesn't see it that way. He sees that the reason I got to where I'm at is because of my work ethic. If you know anything about him, he came from Philly, grew up, was originally a rapper, came out some hard times financially because of some things, had to get Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and that opened up the world for him. If you've ever seen anything about Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, at the beginning, like the first couple seasons, they mention a lot about how you'd see Will Smith mouthing the words and lines of his castmates in the shows, because he knew every single line. Because that's how hard he wanted to work, because he wanted to make sure he had everything down. So you literally see him mouthing words while he's having a conversation with Uncle Phil, just about what his lines were. That's the work ethic he put in. That's why he's a successful person today. That's why he's that way. Decide, commit, act, succeed, and then repeat it all over again. You got a full year with this one word every day towards it. All right? Take a look at this little clip here. I want to see your comments about it. But it makes a great point about action.
Oh, that's not good.
Oh, I don't need this. I'm already late.
Somebody will come. Anybody out there?
Do you have a phone?
No. Sorry. Somebody! Hello? There are 2 people stuck on an escalator and we need help. Now, would somebody please do something? I don't believe this. You gotta be kidding me.
I'm gonna cry.
Well, there's not enough left to do, is it?
Hello? Hey, don't worry about it. I'll fix it in a second.
He said he can fix it. All right. All right. That's more like it. Who says he can fix it?
Oh, wait.
Oh my God. Spoiler.
Walking down the sidewalk, kicking my feet as I'm moving to the music. Step to the beat, I woke up today. Can't throw my plans, I stepped right outside. My guitar in my hands and the notes became alive. The sound caressed the air and I kicked it up my lungs. Just a stroll without the air 'cause I'm going.
I heard a few comments. Are you serious? Kidding me?
My
Like, seriously, are you really kidding me right now? Why would you show them straight that these people clearly need some help? This happens every day, just not on an escalator.
I hope
But it happens every single day where something happens, someone tells us no, we have some adversity, and we go, I'm gonna stop right here. I'm on the escalator in life, and I'm gonna stop right here because I just, no one's helping me out. Someone told me no. I had a rough day, I'm not feeling well. This happens every single day, and we're looking at these people like, seriously, just take 4 steps up the stairs, up the escalator. That's all you gotta do. What are you sitting around for? And we're making fun of them, but it happens in daily lives of people today. Again, it might not physically be on an escalator, but in life we get confronted with those things. We have an issue and we shut down, we stop. We get told we have to put in some work and we're like, nope, escalator stopped. I don't have everything I might need. I'm gonna stop right here. I'm not gonna take any action steps forward. And, the lady was like, I'm late, I'm already late. I just need to get there, but she wasn't willing to put in the extra effort to get herself to where she had to be. Again, all she had to do was walk up the stairs. And she said, got a phone? No. Oh, this just sucks. It's crazy. And what were they gonna do? They were waiting for someone to get them out of the situation. They were waiting for that guy to come up the escalator and have him fix it for them. They weren't gonna take the action steps. They were waiting for somebody to do it for them. And then he got stuck. And then he took the same attitude. And imagine if that kept piling up in our life where we don't have any help, so we're just gonna stay here until someone bails us out, until someone gives us the gift we need, so someone says, hey, you know what, I'll cover your bill for you, or I'll pay off your debt for you, I'll fix the situation for you. But we all wait, and then we wait, and then before you know it, the escalator is filled with people. There's no room, because everyone's just waiting for somebody else to bail them out. Take action. Just get off the escalator. Just get off the escalator. Facts. So think of those action steps. Think of those steps you can take this year.
Yeah?
Yeah.
A bit better.
Just because at first I wasn't bad enough. I'm going to hand this to you as we're finishing up today. Think about, you don't have to worry about, this isn't a turn-in thing, but think about the action steps that you want to take with that one word you chose this year. We got our escalator, we got our stairs here. So you have that one word, you chose, your one word. You decided and you're committing to it. You're putting that down here at the beginning level, okay, the lowest part of the escalator. And then I gave you 3 action steps here. It might be more, there might be less. 3 is just always a good number to have. So like 3 action steps going up the escalator. The escalator stopped working, so you're going to have to figure out a way to put some action steps that keep moving you forward here. So think about some action steps that aren't vague, that can be specific a little bit, that get you to where you want to go, that get you off the escalator. They might be daily things, that hey, every day I'm going to do this. They might be things you do weekly. They might be action steps you take over the course of this semester. There might be action steps you take over the course of the year, and you say, all right, this is kind of the steps I got to take in order for me to get off the escalator. So think of those action steps that you have for yourself. It's going to take time. You got the year of 2019, so these are action steps to accomplish what you want to accomplish in the next week. This is the year. Think big picture here. Think of the process. And then finally, the top, when you would get off the escalator, when you finally reach the top of the escalator, what does that success define for you as? What does that look like? With your one word, what does a successful year look like? You know, I chose the word develop. A successful year for me will have more talent. I will have more additions to what I can do. I will have impacted at least 5 people and developed them to get to where they want to get to. List some things out that what would success look like for you in that word in 2019. If you can outline your success and how you would define it, now you kind of know what you're going after. Rather than just say, I want to be positive this year. Okay, what does positive look like? If you could accomplish positivity in 2019, what does that look like? If you could accomplish confidence in 2019, what does that look like? Have that defined for yourself. And this can kind of give you a blueprint to get you off the escalator, to get you moving in the right direction, to get you moving forward a little bit. So have that one word, have the action steps for yourself, and think about what success would be as defined by your one word.